What's up, guys? Boulevard the Fell-Handed here, bringing you the Art of the T-62a Part 4. Here we are on Prokravaca Night in Counter Battle. The greens start in the north spawn, the reds start in the southern spawn. Now, with a tank like this that has such an amazing cap, such an amazing turret, you want to shoot for the dish there, about E2. There's a dish there, you get in there, you can be hauled down. You need to be very careful not to pull up that much because the hill there at J1 can put fire on you, as well as the guys at, say, J8, J7 setting on the tracks. There's always going to be guys at those two locations. Typically, you know, if you pull out too much, you're going to be eye level with them, and they'll be able to pin you fairly easy. So you want to make sure that you primarily just light stuff up. You don't take any unnecessary risks. That is the key when you pull in this dish. I wouldn't necessarily do this with just any tank, but a crunchy medium is perfect for this location because you'll end up bouncing quite a few rounds if you play your cards right. So right now, you know, we're spotting quite a few things, and you want to make sure you keep that up. You want to make sure you keep lighting things up so that, you know, your teammates can locate these targets and fire on these targets. We're not here to do an excessive amount of damage. We're just here to keep things lit up, keep, you know, the greens guns running, so on and so forth. If you take shots, you want to make them as quick as possible. You know, go in, go out, take fire rounds, what have you. Typically, you don't want to really stay a whole lot in one location. You want to keep it moving if you can. You want to make sure that you stay down, as hull down as you can be, you know, for the most part. I mean, you know, you're going to take some rounds. Typically, in this location, you end up taking rounds from the guys there at F5, F6. The guys pushing the opposite side of the tracks end up somehow getting rounds on you. You know, it looks like you're hull down, but most of the time you're really not, from them anyway. You know, the main people you're hull down from are the guys kind of in the front there, maybe even the tracks. You know, it's a very slippery slope because, you know, most of the time you end up pulling up too far to try to take shots and end up exposing yourself. So in a tank strong like this, in the turret, you need to be very cautious that you don't overexpose yourself. You just want to barely peek up to where the reticle turns red, and then that's a wrap. Put rounds on him. So we're being very effective right here. Pretty much any time the gun comes up, we're getting a round out of the gun. Being very effective here. E75, I think, is just rushing the right-hand flank there. Doesn't even care that we're in the dish. Putting some rounds on him. You know, you're going to have these YOLOers. You just need to make sure you're not in their way when they come through, because it looks like he's going down the one column and he doesn't give a shit who's there to stop him. So you just need to be very cautious. That's the bottom line. You just need to be very cautious. And, you know, it's possible, it's definitely been done, where people eventually get tired of your shit and they just roll down in that fucking dish there with, you know, 2-3 guys. You know, you get 2 mediums in here, unless you're very quick, it's a wrap for you. So, you know, like I said in every single one of my videos, you have to have exceptional situational awareness. You need to be aware of what's going on at all times. You need to know where everybody's at, or, you know, if you don't know exactly, you need to have a good idea where everybody's at. And you need to keep your head on a swivel at all times. Goes for any tank in the game. Granted, with heavy tanks, things typically happen at a slower pace. You know, you're not going to be surprise rolled all of a sudden. I mean, it's possible, but most of the time in the heavy tanks, you're fighting, you know, the guys over there, you know the guys over there, you know you're there, you're firing back and forth, so on and so forth. With mediums, it's a bit different. You know, right now we've got a hearse coming up here, and, you know, worst case scenario, if things go bad when you're in this dish, just drop back down in the dish, you'll be fine. I get a little greedy here. I really want to put another round in him, and, you know, of course, I get shot in the lower plate for my trouble. If you had an STB, you could really make this location work. Anything with a high depression is going to do very well in this location. Granted, of course, the Leopard has excellent depression, So does this CDC. They just lack the armor. And that's, you know, where the STB is really going to shine in this particular location. Now, normally if the field changes, I will leave this dish, you know, but so far everything is kind of working out in my favor, so I have no desire to leave, you know, and you shouldn't either. If things are going your way, stay right the fuck where you are and keep shooting people. Now, that being said, if you are not being effective, you need to get out of there and go somewhere else where you are effective. And that's pretty much scripture. You see that in a lot of my videos, that, you know, if you're not doing things in one location, switch flanks, switch locations. Always think of something. I am not one of those people. I guess my skill is not at that point yet, where if I go to a certain flank and I push it and nothing's happening, I'm not one of those people who can just force shit to happen. You know what I mean? Like, if I go to a flank and it's not doing anything, and I'm not doing anything, I just fucking leave. No matter what tank I'm in. Granted, I always run medium, so it kind of expedites the situation. You can't really leave in a heavy once you are committed to that given flank, obviously. But if you're in a medium, you can leave. And I highly recommend that. You know, you need to see which way the wind's blowing in every circumstance in this game. If things are not going your exact way, you need to get the hell out of there. If you don't, it's your own fault that you die. Very, very important. You know, granted, sure, maybe sometimes you can't get away, what have you. But if, you know, you get in there and you choose not to leave and you want to try to duke it out, then it's your own fault. The E75 here bounced off his lower plate and hit him in the upper plate for some reason. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know exactly what I thought. So right now, you know, I'm trying to side scrape here off the E75. Not doing a totally great job of it. I'm giving it my best, okay? My best is not necessarily fantastic, but we're doing it. We're going to try it. We go ahead and put a round in there, bringing us up to 17 pins. And, of course, we end up getting killed. So, you know, 17 pins, no kills. What are you going to do? Guys, thank you for watching The Art of the T-62a Part 4. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share.